Hello again, everybody. I'm Scott Murray. Welcome to today's edition of 5 Talk Street. Each year, 37% of high school students do not graduate. Since 1992, Communities in Schools has been providing intensive care and case management to assess each child's unique needs to help them stay in school and achieve in life. And joining me today is Lindsay Garner. She is the Vice President and Chief Development Officer for Communities in Schools of Greater Tarrant County. Great to see you again.
Thanks.
And thanks for all that you continue to do every single day. Incredible organization. What's the best part as far as you're concerned, doing what you do?
I think the key part of our organization is the work of the social workers. They're directly inside the schools, and they are that one person who is going to be the safety net and make sure that those kids that are identified as most at risk don't fall through the cracks.
They become real difference makers, don't they?
Yes.
When you say a statistic like, my gosh, that's almost 2 out of every 5 students not graduating.
It's a problem. It's fewer students who are graduating on time and prepared to enter the local workforce. So there's a significant effect on the economy when you see an increase in high school dropouts.
Well, some viewer that might be out there this weekend and says, you know, gosh, Communities in Schools, I've heard about that, but what do they really do? What would you tell them?
Our organization provides social workers. We are the largest employer of social workers in Tarrant County. We provide them directly to the schools. Those schools that we have partnerships with actually have office space available for our social workers. It makes that person available to work intensely on an ongoing day-to-day basis with the children that the schools have identified as struggling the most. And they're not just struggling with grades, they're not just struggling with behavior, but over 90% of the children that we serve are on free or reduced lunch. And when the social worker starts to dig, when they make those in-home visits, they start to find a whole, what we call a web of obstacles. It's never just one issue that the child and the family is dealing with. They could be behind on their bills and the utilities are off. The child might be sleeping on really insufficient bedding on the floor and they just need a decent mattress to sleep on so they're getting better rest. They might have some family members who are somehow tied to gangs and the family needs gang intervention. That social worker is there to assess what the needs are and make sure that the child is connected with the community resources that they need. And we have over 80 community partners that will come to the school and that the social worker is going to develop a case management plan for that child and make sure that they and the family are taking advantage of those services and keep that child on track toward graduation. But
in a lot of ways, and I like to think of myself as someone that's incredibly optimistic and very positive the way I look at things, and yet you see the challenges that you have before you every single day. And here's a child that you said might be sleeping on the floor, not getting the proper rest. By the time they get to school the next day, they're not prepared. Maybe they didn't have breakfast. 18 million children go to bed hungry every single night right here in the good old US of A. So when you have to deal with those obstacles, that makes your job that much tougher, doesn't it?
It does, but you know, I'm really excited to report just in the last year we served over 22,000 students. A large number of those students are case managed on a regular basis. Sometimes a child comes to their social worker and they might have just one thing that they're needing. They might just need a new pair of shoes so that they can play with a basketball team and make it to the games and have the right kind of shoes on their feet. It could be anything from that to some of these bigger things that we're talking about. But the social workers case managed intensely over 3,000 of those children last year. And of those students, just of the high school seniors, 94% of them graduated high school on time. Of those, 73% went on to enroll in post-secondary education programs. And of all of the children that we served last year, 99% of them stayed in school. They're promoted to that next grade level. So it is working. So
Communities in Schools is all about giving a child that needs a second chance, and it's amazing the results.
Absolutely.
So in 30 seconds, to you, the most rewarding part about being a part of this incredible organization and what you get out of it and take home every day, what might that be?
I think it's knowing that those children have somebody who cares deeply about them, regardless of what's happening at home, regardless of what's happening with the family. There's that one person that's going to make sure that they succeed, and that's very rewarding to me.
Lindsay Garner, please pass on our thanks to everybody that does all that they do. Communities in Schools. There's so many incredible organizations that we have in this North Texas area, but this is one of the really good ones, really making a difference in the life of a child.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sounds good. We're coming back with more of 5 Talk Street, so don't go away.